I'm going to go full black helicopter.
All right, let's do it.
Buckle in.
Full black helicopter.
Wow.
What better way to control an entire population of people than by declaring them debilitated?
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost a word of
Well,
the
I
state.
think you've been alluding to that all along, have you not?
Yes.
Full black helicopter.
Yeah.
What better way to completely and finally control the population than by declaring them debilitated?
Now, Such, my question is, did they have that in mind before the pandemic and the pandemic proved it's possible, or did they learn from the pandemic and, a light bulb went off? What's the history here?
I think the light bulb went off learning from the pandemic.
Yeah.
Think of how many additional cabinet members Melvin will get away with for the mental
But
health
then
division.
the fly in
19
that
is-
ointment, the fly in that dark
do you
helicopter
got?
ointment. Well, where does the money come from?
We're printing
Well,
money.
I think
wealthy.
you know the answer.
The wealthy.
No.
Big pharma, brah.
No, but where's the money come from? I'm debilitated. I can't pay for this jug of medicine you want me to have. Where's the money come from?
John's going to start yelling at me here, so let me get my facts straight. Hang on.
Thank you, John.
The mystery hates this country. They don't like its founding.
Right.
They don't like anything about it.
It's
So
rules
what better way to completely ruin it
than to
than to
medicate everybody.
continue to claim that people are debilitated?
Okay. Dateline, November 4th, 2021. And I'm not singling them out. I just remember reading the story. Okay. Moderna made $11.3 billion for the calendar year of 2021 with an estimated $18 billion forecasted for 2022.
Yeah, but if you declare the population debilitated, where is Moderna going to make its money? How are they going to get paid?
Prescriptions?
No, but how are they going to get paid? I don't have any money anymore. I'm debilitated.
Government's going to cover you.
I've got my broom and my yellow outfit on, and I'll meet you in the town square at 10 a.m. for exercises.
You don't think the government and big pharma have any correlation to one another?
That you're somehow missing my point. Would somebody help me rather than sit there with your mouth open?
I think
what
you're
you're
missing
missing,
it. I think you're
The
missing it.
government's going to, if you're going to be a ward of the state, they're going to pay for your prescriptions.
But
Exactly.
where are they going to get the money
You!
from?
You!
John, have you followed what I'm trying to say?
I
I'm
do
gonna come and
follow
take
what
your
you're trying
temperature.
to say. I'm trying to figure out where the money would come from, like you said.
Where's
because
the money
nobody's-
come from? This
nobody's-
show no
nobody's gonna be
longer
able to work.
exists. Okay,
Yeah,
this
nobody
show
can
no
work.
longer exists. You're not showing up here. We're not filling out time cards. We don't have a credit card. We're debilitated.
Is it 2018 again?
So where does the money come from?
It comes from the buildup of taking all of your assets over time.
Then what happens when that runs out?
You're thinking ahead. They're not. They're not. Somehow they will have to change things when that
Joe.
See, this is why black helicopterism is often foolish, because it leads you to unanswered questions.
Black Helicopter Podcast. I love it.
I'm sure there is
There
one.
probably is a million. You're right.
I'm sure there is, yeah.
But Joe, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't think that President Biden attempting to hire 87,000 IRS agents to leak even more money from the American taxpayer has anything?
Fine, you get it once or twice. Then what are you going to do? If you got
Because
a
we won't
nation
have
of
any
people
money to
walking
pay
around like with
taxes.
their mouths open and they don't go to work, the government's not going to have any money.
Boy, I hope that's not soon. Really be a bummer.
Okay.
I have some life.
We're going to have to agree to disagree because the government won't stop.
But what will the government run on?
What will it run on?
batteries.
EVs.
Batteries. You'll have a charging station to
Batteries.
recharge your mental health.
This is a science fiction thing from way back. I mean,
I know.
I can think of 3 or 4 stories.
Well, it's
where
Orwellian, and
the whole population is taking
Right,
drugs, and
right,
that's how you keep
right.
them under. Dune is based on that.
yeah,
Melange,
yeah.
the drug melange. Yeah.
I'm not saying these are original thoughts. I'm saying they're thoughts.
Yeah, but now those thoughts seem one giant step closer to being implemented than way back when.
I love you, Joe.
Yeah. I ain't staying there, you know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
That's a common man.
I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you got to figure it out.
That's right.
Didn't Abe Lincoln say that?
Yeah. Right before he chopped down the cherry tree.
Another reason why the UN
Shouldn't exist.
shouldn't exist,
Got it.
especially in this country. Get it out of here.
Get it out. That's some nice real estate.
This is from the Associated Press. It's been on many websites. The head of the UN Weather Agency says the war in Ukraine may be seen as a blessing from a climate perspective
Oh my God.
because it is accelerating the development of and investment in green energies in the long term, even though fossil fuels are being used at a time of high demand now. The comments from World Meteorological Organization Secretary General Petteri Talas comes as the world faces a shortfall in energy needs, prompted in part by economic sanctions against key oil and natural gas producer Russia. Prices for fossil fuels have risen, making renewable energies like solar, wind, and hydrothermal more competitive in the energy marketplace. Now, let me go even deeper as the black helicopter seemingly spins out of control.
Okay.
What have I always said about Mysterians?
They're effed up.
They don't like people.
They don't like people. That's the second
The
one. I thought.
the disregard for life in this paragraph is astounding. That these,
Would praise war because it's going to accelerate green
and
options.
don't forget, it's the first thing out of Kerry's mouth when the war started. This is terrible for the climate.
Yeah.
And now you have the so-called weatherman of the UN saying this is a blessing for the climate because it'll make us get to green faster. Never mind the children who died in a playground explosion.
Right.
Never mind that Putin, an evil, psychotic despot, is completely bombing everything that has nothing to do with a war. Never mind that. We might, and it's not the climate, it's not the blessing for the climate that these frauds are interested in. It's their taking over of the world that they're interested in, because climate change hysteria has nothing to do with the environment. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing?
It's a complete reordering of everything. Now take it down to the prediction.
Okay.
We don't like people. We've already seen that with the way the extraordinary left treats children. They don't like these kids. They're using them as experiments.
Pawns.
And now they're saying, well, we don't care about the war is killing all these people. This is going to speed up our complete takeover of everything because we'll have new green technology, which has, and you won't, and the green technology will never mean a thing to nature. Nature doesn't care if you're coming up with green technology. And so really the bottom line here is, you know who's in trouble? People.
Humanity.
Humanity's in trouble.
As a whole.
Your life is in trouble.
Hmm.
Its meaning, its soul, its individuality. Your life is in trouble.
You're making me so depressed that I'm going to have to go on medicine
I
from the
know.
government.
That's right.
You're messing with my mental health
The
right now.
UN is worried
Wow.
that is not worried about children dying in Ukraine. They're pleased that this could be a blessing to speed up something that makes no difference anyway.
You ready to rock?
Yeah.
I have in front of me
Okay.
the total gross collections by year, fiscal year from 1960 to 2021 by the Internal Revenue Service. They're also known as the IRS. Okay?
Yep.
These dollar amounts are in the thousands of dollars.
Right.
In 2021, the IRS collected, okay, you guys have to tell me with the math here, $4,111,569,512.
From people who were doing what?
This is total. So business income taxes, individual income taxes.
Chris,
estate-
you have a blank spot in your head here that I'm seriously, I'm puzzled by.
I think somebody
They
fell out of the
collected
car.
that from people who were doing what?
This is total
We're
tax
working.
collected.
Right, right. But,
Yeah, people that
they
were
got the money
working.
from people who were doing what?
Working.
Okay. The black helicopter theory, which I'm more than willing to say is fanciful, is that what better way to control a population than by declaring them debilitated and they won't be working?
Okay. But my
Where are
point,
they going to get the money?
but my point is, Joe, we have had this dollar amount has increased every year. It's never, hold on, it's never gone down. And we have fewer people working now than we probably did 2 years ago.
Let me try one more time.
All right,
I like to
I'm-
focus on the blank spot of his
dropping-
brain.
I'm dropping it.
Let me try one more
Expand
time.
that.
Let's say you're right.
I know I'm right. I'm
But
just
if,
explaining to you why
if
you're
people
wrong.
stop working, that amount of money they collected in 2021 will disappear in about 6 months.
Nope, it won't. It's never going to go down. That's my point.
Where's it going to come from?
It doesn't matter. We're going to be taxed to the
Well, is it going to be on a tree?
well, but it hasn't gone down once since the year of
But
19.
Because people are still
Chris,
working.
Yeah, Chris, if they're let's say I'm making
Did
40
my
grand
wife
a
start
year.
working on this show? No,
No,
I'm-
you're
I'm
Chris.
making-
You're blind to
let-
this.
no.
Let's
Yes,
say
you
I'm
are.
making 40 grand a year and and then I pay X amount of taxes. Then I'm debilitated by the government. I can't work. I can't earn 40
So
grand.
you don't
I'm
have
not
his
getting-
40 grand to go take taxes from.
I either need a drink or a cigarette right now. I'm not sure which.
Chris, this isn't you can't be this thick.
Well, maybe the
I under-
government, maybe
Okay.
the government will deem you not able to work for, say, a delivery service, but they will deem you okay to work for them. So, in order to survive, you can go to your government job and earn tokens, in which you can exchange
Yeah.
for potatoes and bread.
Stale bread.
Okay, and that will not result in trillions of dollars of revenue.
But the
this-
government will be making money from the products they sell to you. No, that fails too. That crashes.
wouldn't
To
work.
the
I guess
ground.
my
Yeah,
my
that
only point, Joe,
crashes.
is the revenue stream has never gone down, despite the fact that we have more people living on government assistance now than we ever have. That's my point. We're going to continue to have people entering the workforce.
I was going to try to quit smoking today.
Yeah, no, you're not.
But it's
All right,
the end
I'll drop
result is socialism or communism, and that will fail.
Misery shared equally.
It will be. It will.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
is that point. that
Somewhere
crosses.
in there, yeah, somewhere in there, Matthew is the truth. You're
Misery
right.
shared
And
equally.
I think, yeah, Rook summed it up right there. It can't work because it will be some form of socialism.
Right. So, Chris,
and all that happens in socialism is you run out of other people's money.
Exactly.
so in this case, in this argument, Chris is the government. Chris thinks the money, Chris, the government, will keep coming in. But Chris, the government, is wrong because socialism and communism doesn't work.
And so therefore your pot, your cash drawer
I need
dries
some
up.
pot right now.
Dries up.
No, I wasn't criticizing you, Chris. I was using you to make our
Yeah.
overall point.
Yeah.
But
You get it now?
No, I don't. I don't think
that blank spot's hanging on tight.
No. My whole entire point here, gentlemen, is this revenue stream from the IRS has gone up every single year, year after year after year. What evidence do you guys have that leads you to believe it's going to somehow go away or be diminished? It's
If
not
everybody's
going to
making
ever.
less money, Chris, everybody has to be making less money because they're debilitated because the government says they are and are putting them on these
Kenny
pills.
stumbled onto it. Kenny stumbled on
Yeah,
it.
I
Stumble,
never have
yeah.
like
You're
a
not clever
good
enough,
thought.
but
It's
anyway.
always a stumble.
Right.
You accidentally fell into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice going.
No, Kenny's right. There still will be work, but it'll be whatever the government assigns you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, creativity. Right now, if you start Apple or if you start another company, that's great. You're going to get paid for it. Once there's no incentive to invent a new paper towel or invent a new type of transportation, it's depression. There's no.
Would you at least,
goal.
you're right, would you at least admit, Reavers, that in this fanciful fantasy that we have of the black helicopter, that a population has been declared debilitated and will work based on whatever has been assigned to them by the state, would you at least admit that revenues will decrease? He won't admit that.
I even get that. I'm
What's
kind
wrong with
of.
you?
I'm kind of on his side, but I understand that they will
I know
decrease a
you
little
can't do that to me.
bit.
How can you agree with that?
Because I know that revenues will be down, but there's still.
You
gonna,
just said it. There'll be no incentive to invent Apple.
I agree with that, but it's
You better. You said
it's
it.
going to take a while because the Bill Gates or the Elon Musks that do have
What did they create?
Say,
uh,
Hey, Apple.
Apple.
Since we're blasting
Yes,
around
yes.
the world in our black helicopter right now, let me throw this one at you.
Yeah.
Who is going to get the real medicine and who's going to get the sugar pills?
Yeah.
Because we're all going to be medicated. We just don't
placebos?
know. Yeah, the placebo.
And you guys think we have voter issues now? I'm just kidding. I wanted to say
Wait
that
till we
just
all
to
have a
get-
purple finger.